Hey, thanks for joining us again for another daily recruiting nugget. I'm Tyler Waldrop here with Andrew Bone, and today we're talking about Terrion Arnold, who's currently listed as an athlete on Rivals. Bone, what sort of are you hearing about him? Is there a position Alabama has in mind for him?
Yeah, I think when you look at him, you think defensive back's probably going to be his go-to once he gets to the college level. Tremendous athlete overall. It reminds me a little bit of Eddie Jackson coming out of high school because just how athletic he is, how he can really do anything he wants to on either side of the ball. I mean, he had close to 1,000 yards receiving, eight touchdowns during his junior season on offense, and then he had almost 100 tackles on defense. Just a tremendous athlete overall. He's also a tremendous basketball player. Got several offers in basketball, so also looking at that. So kind of the same similar situation as JaQuincy McKinstry, number one player in the state of Alabama. A lot of schools coming after him in basketball and football. So that's something he's strongly considering. Alabama's talked to him about playing basketball as well. So he knows that option is certainly there. He would be on football scholarship and then potentially play basketball after the football season. So that's kind of how that would go if he decides to do that. But being recruited mainly as a defensive back by Alabama. Now, the biggest question is, what position does he end up playing in the defensive back? Well, he's about 6'1.5", about 185 pounds. Is he a cornerback? Is he a safety? Not really sure just yet. I think Alabama's looking at him, kind of both. I mean, I think they'd like, in a perfect world, they would have loved to had him on campus during the summer so he could work out and not necessarily work out to have a committable offer. He has a committable offer. He's one of Alabama's top overall targets, a very big time priority for Alabama. It's just more of, figuring out exactly where he fits in. Well, does he end up playing safety? Does he end up playing corner? What does he want to do? And maybe that's kind of the situation. What does he prefer doing rather than what does Alabama prefer him to play? And I think with Terrion, they're certainly telling him, whatever you want to do, you can do it. We love you. We want you as part of this class. And we can kind of figure that out down the road. I think Salson Siri, Charles Kelly, those two guys have done a tremendous job recruiting him thus far. And I think they talked to him just about every day. Terrion talked to Coach Saban a lot. They've had some, several FaceTime calls this spring. And I think he certainly feels like a top priority. Now, he tweeted the other day how he's still open to all schools, going to really narrow down his list, probably sometime during the summer. Now, we kind of thought that maybe he would make a decision sometime during the spring. He had taken a junior day visit to Alabama. He visited Tuscaloosa back during the fall. And after each trip, it seemed like he was really close to making a decision after each visit that Alabama was extremely high on his list of favorites. But hasn't made a decision yet. Still kind of letting it play out. A lot of schools coming after him extremely hard. I mean, Alabama, Tennessee, LSU, Georgia, a lot of top programs throughout the country are heavily recruiting him. Obviously, the Florida schools, Florida State, Miami, they're all over him as well. And it just kind of comes across as he wants to kind of enjoy the process a little bit more. Wants to take a few more visits. He's, his stock kind of continues to rise. He's a four-star recruit, but I think in the rankings this week we'll probably actually see him bump up just a little bit because of just all the attention that he's received. How he is a top priority for a lot of these top programs throughout the country, and maybe if he can visit a few more schools this summer and then potentially make that decision.
You mentioned some of those Florida schools. He's a kid down in Tallahassee right now. Would you say those Florida schools, Miami, Florida State, maybe Florida, are those Alabama's biggest competition for him at this point? Does it seem like?
He hasn't really said who is the stiffest competition for him just yet. I would assume Florida State probably is definitely very, very high on his list, and somebody that Alabama will probably have to worry about. New coaching staff in there trying to make a big splash. Wanting to keep the top kids at home, but like I said, I think Salson Siri, Charles Kelly, both of those guys have been working overtime on Terrion and really trying to make him feel like a top priority. And we've seen Alabama have a tremendous amount of success recruiting in Tallahassee through the years and having some guys who've had a lot of success at Alabama from the area. So yeah, I don't think it's going to really weigh that heavily on him in terms of does he leave home? Can he leave home? I think Alabama's got just as good of a chance as Florida State does, if not better.
Okay, yeah. And you sort of mentioned who his primary recruiters are and the history in Tallahassee. Is there anything else we should really know just about the big picture and trying to get Terrion, what he might mean to the 2021 class?
Yeah, I think Alabama just overall trying to get some great defensive backs in this class. I mean, I would imagine they're trying to sign at least 4 to 5 defensive backs. They don't have any defensive back commitments right now. He's kind of been a top priority for a long time. We've talked about him as a top priority. Excuse me, I just had a bug fly on my face, but the danger of being outside doing these shows. But he visited Alabama. I think it was the first time he visited was in October, and after that visit, he's been a priority target for Alabama for since day one, and we've kind of seen a lot of other schools start to make him a top priority really since then. I mean, Alabama was one of the first schools to really offer him, that really started pushing hard for him, and now all these other programs are coming hard after him as well. But I think his relationship with, like I said, Sal Sinceri, Charles Kelly, I think that has really, been a big plus for Alabama and his recruitment. And probably if they end up getting him, I think that's going to be the main reason.
Okay, absolutely. We just want to thank y'all for joining us as always for these recruiting nuggets. We know the feedback we're getting, and we see that y'all are watching these videos. We love doing them for y'all, giving y'all something to kind of pass time. Hopefully we have some more commitments coming up soon that y'all can tune into. If you want to find out about those commitments when they happen and not hear it from your friends, just make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure the notifications are turned on. Those will get pushed to your phone, your desktop, whatever you're using to follow us on. Right away, and then then you're not finding out 2 days later that, hey, we had this guy commit. And check out the site. We're going to have interviews with coaches when we have these guys commit. Bone's going to have some great insight, and he's going to tell you who's going to commit next, which is just incredible that he's able to do that. But he is. Bone, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Tyler.